All right, so the last
so
part
what
of the
we're
paper
looking
then
at
is
is
going to
looking
conclusion
at
and
a look at
writing.
writing
Now,
a
all
policy
3 of these
paper for the
videos,
giver.
along with this
It's going
PowerPoint,
to
will answer
available
that
in have
focus.
a
So
focus
you said, I
question.
know
It's
all the
already been
information
given,
in the
but I
body
can't
of the
remember
paper is
exactly
going
what
to
you
answer
said,
this
but
focus
you can
question.
make
You
notes
can go
on
grab
your
the
outline
If you
about
look
the
at your
section you don't
outline,
remember,
it was
is
divided up
PowerPoint is
into
up on
2
Blackboard
paragraphs.
for you.
Okay? One paragraph is going
the
to deal with
conclusion.
rules.
When we started reading this novel, we understood
how to write a
the
conclusion.
question
Number
for
1, there are
this
no quotes
analysis
from the
paper
story or the
was,
conclusion.
when do
you
rules
can
the
divide
first
it up.
sentence
This
become
is what happened.
thesis
So I
or
didn't say repeat.
In other words,
thesis.
the rules
The giver,
and the rituals
I said
have reached
restate
their
it.
problem.
So
So
you're
you're
going
going
to
to
say
say
something
something
about
about
rules and
choice
rituals and whatever the human quality that
that's
your
what you're
theme
looking.
is.
That's what you were supposed to be
So
looking
you
for.
can
as
figure
your
out
grade.
how
That's
you're
what
going
you're
to
supposed be
organize your
addressing.
paper. It becomes your choice.
This
We know
should be
that
right
an
about the
analysis
types
paper
of
in a
rules and
time
rituals
organization
story
rather than the
in the
meaning
first half of the
itself.
book.
We saw
And there
rituals
are
that
limits
involved.
to this
These are the
interpretation.
rules and
Because
rituals
you
that
have
have
to
to
be
be
forward
forward
in
in
their
their
life.
life.
By
Did.
this, for example,
These are the rules
giving
and
them a
rituals
job,
that have them by how they change
buttons.
So when I
when they
read
can
your
have
children
to support
or
your
you can do
assertion
one paragraph on
or your
rules, how they
analysis,
think
like
about
how
how
they
they
changed,
changed, and one paragraph
the
on
end
rituals.
of the story.
In
other
why
words,
did the
it's
author
your
dealing
choice.
with your
Audience hanging
opinion
at the
based
end
on
to
you're going to
draw
have
your own
2
conclusion.
body
She
paragraphs.
did not tell you
Now,
what
some of
happened
you
to
may be
Jonas
looking
and
at your
Gabriel.
notes and go,
This
okay, I
is
didn't
a
organize my
formal
notes that
paper,
way. That's
and one of the
okay.
things
Do
you
not
run numbers,
think.
arrows,
Do not put in your
symbols,
paper
what
because
requires
when you
you
go to
to
write
write
your
in
paper,
paper,
you know where you're going to
for
put
it to be
things.
a
She didn't write the
formal
2 books until
academic
people
paper.
pressured her to do
Because
so.
your
Each
outline
paper
is just
looks
nothing
the
but a
same,
bunch
but
of
it
notes for
sounds
you to write
different
from.
you have to assume
so
this
that
way
when
when
you
you
get
get ready to write the paper. Why does the author have to think about it from scratch? You got a whole bunch of ideas. Where do you think you're starting? That's why it's called pre-writing. So I can tell you right now, if you go ahead and read Gathering Bloom, each paragraph states the interpretation of the question and then is supported by examples in the text. We never write in first person
when you
or
start
second
the
person.
paragraph,
You have to tell the reader what they're going to read in the paragraph. So there should be no eyes or no topic sentence for the paragraph. So in the conclusion, you're going to answer those questions. Breaking the book into a time. So the last question that I just shared your first draft the way you would write it, and then during the revision process, if you're talking about rules in one paragraph, rituals in another, when I get done reading your analysis before I read your conclusion, don't get hung up. Oh, I wrote an I. Just write it. But when you have to have quotes. The question always is, how many quotes we never use contractions in academic relationship between pronouns or one gives the reader food for thought. In other words, I want you thinking about what you said. No quotes after I put together when they. I want you to. That is correct. But we don't want to say you have a paragraph that has 12 sentences in it, so difficult, and 1/3 of them has to be direct quotes from the story. So it has how many sentences out of 12 have to be direct quotes? No, didn't, wouldn't, shouldn't. 4 quotes. When we're all done, use the writing process. We're going to do that. And all text references must do me a quotation marks and page numbers. If you get your first draft written by Friday night, can you have 3 the quotation from the book? 25 parentheses behind. Don't wait. I'm not that strict. I'm not going to. You will not have any class time Monday to work on it. But you need to. You can't have one quote number. You can't have. Does the introduction avoid because you only have one source in this story? You follow what I'm saying? And you never ever organization effective. It should not dwindle. Okay, writing the introduction. If you look at your outline, if all you do is give a few examples from the text and identify them as character development or climax essay devoted to analysis, this is a rule. The first sentence is a grammar sentence or striking statement that's going to entice the reader. You want the analysis part involves explaining how your examples show what you know about the character or why this is the climax of the story. Always look for 2 to 3 how this is a ritual or how it has changed. Of the story. This is with the little different than a main idea. You must have ideas in depth, not just superficial main idea. Check your so when you take an idea, like ceremonial rough draft, you are required that the person reading your essay has never read the book. Okay. You have to explain a little bit of how an idea of ritual or what that is. You can't just say read out loud ritual and essays that were just turned in and people do not give away. You cannot assume I know what that is. You have to analyze it. In other words, you have to grabs what the author has stated that are easily caught if you read them out loud. Because if I read your essay and then I read it out loud and you've got 2 final sentences or a word not there to missing a letter or there's no and in this case, you and I both know that if you read it out, if I put in this really long quote, Mrs. Crandall will think I wrote a really long paper. But
fix
it's
any
rewritten.
awkward
The first time I read your paper, I read it without
already got it there.
sentences, redundant
I
or
wanna know what
ideas.
it
So like
say
the
the same
essay
thing over
itself,
and over
the
again.
then I go back and read it
simplistic,
the
you can't
second
think of
time,
anything
and
new, so you
our
just rewrite it in a
quote
different way.
follows a formula.
And then I see if
if
your
you
quotes
don't
are
use
backing
spell
up
check,
what you
if I
think.
get your paper pulled
Does that
up
make
and
sense?
there's a bunch
Something
of
is not
misspelled words,
stated
I'm
in
going
the
to send it
thesis.
back to
So
you. and
if
I'm
all
gonna
I
give you
read
that
are
paper.
3 sentences
The
that are not
biggest
quotation
mistake
marks and the
students
paper's
make
3
when
pages
writing
long,
an
and
essay
they
Make
have
sure you have
problems,
your
is
source
they
cited
just
at the bottom.
retell
Don't
the
worry
story.
about that until next week, and I
When
will
you
show
use
you how
a
to do it.
quotation,
We'll
specify
do it all
how it
together at
relates
the
to
same
your
time
idea,
analysis, okay?
introduce the
And
quotation,
I'll show you the
and what'll
website
happen
idea.
is
You never
I will
drop
go through
in
your
quote
paper.
bombs.
I
Then
will
we're
put
gonna
at
turn
the
it
top
in.
of
We're
the
gonna
page
turn
where
it
you
into
bold
safe
assign
assignment.
a quote
This is
from
a
the text,
retelling.
but
So
you
you
don't
know
introduce
the reason
over.
we turn it into
And
safe
that's the
assignment.
only feedback
So
you're going to
if
get
you
from me.
say in the book,
And it'll probably say see me. Be
that
really
Jonas,
careful you're not retelling the story.
was
You're gonna
excited
focus
about
specifically
going to the
on
ritual,
rules
the
and
ceremony
rituals.
of 12. I would
It's
then put a
focused,
comma
it's
and put the
concise,
quotation from the book
So
where
your
I got
thesis
that
statement
idea.
will give you a greater chance of
Okay.
communicating clearly.
Make sense?
You will
This
see
is
on your
something I can
outline
help
that
you
you have
with
the formula in
in
place for
the
you. So it
revision
should
or
say
in the
in
first
the
draft
giver.
process.
Lois
Always
Lowry
reproduce
uses a
spelling,
system of rules and
punctuation,
rituals
capitalization,
too.
and other
And you have to
features
decide which
exactly
verb
as
you
they
wanna
appear
use.
in the book.
To show, to criticize, to explain, to demonstrate,
Don't
to
change
provide,
it,
to
even if
prove.
it's incorrect.
You have to pick one. Some
Document your quote
aspect
with
of
the
human
page
nature.
number.
This is where
Okay,
everybody's
so I'm gonna
thesis
stop
is
the
going
video
to
here.
vary. Think about theme. What kind of theme do we see in this book? Does she use a system of rules and rituals to demonstrate a strong bond between friends? Probably not. So it's probably not a good theme. So you have to think about what it is we're addressing in the paper. So everything that you talk about is going to deal with a system of rules and rituals and whatever you put here. Okay? Notice the second part of the thesis begins with the word to, and it identifies theme. Here might be an example of a thesis for another novel that you're going to read next year. In To Kill a Mockingbird, Harper Lee uses the false accusation of a black man to show how prejudicial beliefs can divide people in a community. My entire essay then is going to deal with the analysis of these false accusations, what happened in the community that got people to the point to make these false accusations or believe them, and how it divided people in this community. In other words, part of the community thought the man was guilty, part of the community thought the man should go free, was innocent, because there's a trial involved. Okay? All right, before we talk about writing the body of the paper, I want to stop